On today's episode of The Front Row, we are with Betty Smith, and she works with the sounds of West Texas, and she has a show coming up called Home for the Holidays. Betty, it's so great to have you as our guest on The Front Row today. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here to talk to you. So.
Well, I'd like to just talk a little bit about you to begin with. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do here in our community and how you enjoy putting on these shows and making people happy across the South Plains.
Okay, well, I moved here about 29 years ago, and I taught school in the Lubbock Independent School District for 14 years here in Lubbock. And what started my Sounds of West Texas show was I had a student at Nat Williams when I was teaching third grade whose little sister was 2 years old, and she had a brain tumor. And I was talking to her mother, and she was just talking about how hard it is just to make ends meet, and just the expense of, and not also the worry and everything. But so I'd always wanted to start my own show. I always wanted to have one of my own, and that kind of gave me a little incentive to just get it going. And so we put together a benefit for this little girl. Tori Spence is her name. She's still going. She's about 20 years old. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I had several friends that were all on board about putting this together, and so we did our first show, and it was very much a success. The show was fantastic. The turnout was great, and we raised a lot of money. And so I just thought, I love doing this. I'm just going to keep it going. So I started doing shows about once a quarter, because it takes a lot to put one together. So, once a quarter is about enough for me. So, there's a lot involved, but that's what got the show started. I was a late bloomer as a singer. I knew I could sing, but I wouldn't get up in front of anyone until I got in college. I got with this group, and that kind of brought me out of my shell, where I would start singing solos, and then I learned to sing harmony through my friends in this group. I just kind of, picked it up. So, but I've always wanted to be a singer. That was always my dream as a young child. I wanted to be a singer. And then as I got older, I wanted to have my own show. So starting that benefit's what got it going. And so I still have some of the same people that were doing it from the very beginning, that are still doing it with me. And now I've been able to meet and have Lubbock is just full of talent. And I have tried my best to tap into all the talent I can get my hands on. I try to feature our local people and let people see how much talent we truly have right here in Lubbock, Texas, or the surrounding area. And so I just thought, a show with a mix of all kinds of music, so you're never really getting bored with any one kind. You never know what's going to be next. And so our show has always been kind of a little element of surprise, because we do these. I write jingles for my sponsors, and just if they're a new sponsor, and just to kind of put some fun into the show, and the crowd, they get a kick out of the jingles, but because they're just fun and kind of whimsical, and so I wanted to start something unique, and we give away door prizes, which no other show does that. We do the jingles, no other show does that, at least around here, and we just feature these local people who are every bit as good as anybody you hear on the radio, or maybe better. So I have been so fortunate to meet so many wonderful musicians and have them on my show. And like I said, we have a core group that will repeat, but sometimes some have to do something else, or you'll bring in somebody else. And so through the years, we've had a lot come and go, but we have these few that have stuck with us. Kind of a band that kind of stays together for the most part. Mm-hmm. But I've been able to. We have some of the best musicians in the band that back every artist up. They back them up and play for them. And Mark Walney and Steve Williams, and I've had Danny Dukotnik. I've had we've had so many, Mike Huffman and, just John Reed. There's just so many really good that they can play any kind of music, and it's good because we throw everything at them. I mean, they just really are great at just being able to play anything. But you never know what's going to happen on our show. We've had a bagpipe player. We've had, we've had a harp. We've had, it's just we have some comedy and Kurt Kaiser's kind of our main MC that we use most of the time, and he just adds such an element of fun. He's just a character. So he's got some funny stuff planned for this next show. So the show that's coming up is Home for the Holidays, and it's your show. It's my show.
You're producing it. Everything.
It's my show. Yes.
Right. Okay.
I have the business. What do you call it? Business. Piece of paper that says I own that business.
Right.
DBA.
Right, exactly. And so you were telling me that you had used the Civic Center, but now you've moved to the Cactus. Tell us about that transition.
That has been a godsend. The Civic Center is a wonderful place. I mean, you have so much room backstage and all that, but when you only have maybe 300 or 400 people, it makes it look like your audience is pretty small, and you can't feel them like you can. Well, so when Daryl Holland was buying the Cactus from Don Caldwell, he said he called me and said, "How would you like to move your show over to the Cactus?" And I thought, that would be so wonderful. And sure enough, it has been. It has been a blessing. Daryl Holland's one of the nicest guys, and he is so great to work with. And he's accommodating. He helps me every show, whatever I need, he's always there. And I just rent it from him. And when we do our benefit for the military, for the honor flight, he and I donate together, and we do that together. And but he's just a great person to work with, and it's been wonderful because we can fill that up, the Cactus, and it just you feel the audience more.
Right.
Just a more intimate feeling.
And this concert's coming up on Saturday, November the 30th at the Cactus Theater. And it's titled Home for the Holidays, so obviously it's a holiday show.
Well,
right?
It is that we always call it that because it is right after Thanksgiving and it starts the Christmas season. We do a few Christmas songs, but it's still a mix because our show is always going to be, no matter what the theme is, a mix of all kinds of music. So we'll have songs about home, maybe country or folky or, songs about family, mama or daddy or, songs about grandpa or, songs, so it's not just holiday, but it's songs about home and family and the time of year, about being thankful, spiritual, gospel songs that lift the spirits. That's our whole purpose for this show, is just to give you a little bit of Christmas music, a little bit of some old classic, rock and classic, just a classic country, classic rhythm and blues. I mean, it's just a little bit of all of it. Great. And we've got the oldies and the newbies and the right. We've got it all. So.
Well, tell me a little bit about how you solicited your performers. I see you've got quite a list here. You got Mike Huffman, you've got Jerry Serrano, you've got Steve Williams, you've got Kurt Kaiser to do the emceeing. So how did you round up this particular troupe?
Well, it's funny. You start off with who you know. I knew Steve Williams before I started the show, and Donnie Martin. He's another one that's been with me since the very beginning. Knew him before the show. Donnie's an excellent country singer. He's one of the best I've ever heard. So, but we met through doing some other things, some other shows. So that's how I met kind of the core. Donita Lippy, Daryl Lippy. We started singing together as a group called Country Club before I started the shows. So they've been with me, ever since the beginning too, as background. And Casey, her daughter, has been with us that long. And so I met them through doing some other shows. Like at Abernathy had a big jamboree, and I met a lot of them there. And then we go from there, and I start doing the show, and I start, people will contact me, or I hear them out somewhere, and I'll say, "Oh, you need to come do my show, you know. So I found a lot of them just going out and hearing them, and or through other people's suggestions and all. But I have a kind of a rule of thumb. I have to hear them first before
Right. Sure.
But I do take people's suggestions, and I'll go out and listen to people. And through one event or another, you start just getting a little network, you know, of musicians, you know. So that's kind of what's happened just through doing other musical events. And a lot of them have met each other through my show, you know, just that's how a lot of some that collaborate now, that's how they met, you know, is through the show. And so that was my dream, is just to be able to put on a show that the musicians feel a camaraderie, almost like a family. And we are. I mean, if you're in that show and in that group, it's like a family. And so we just, it's really a special thing that that I feel so blessed and thankful to have been doing this for 15 years.
Wow.
So,
wow, that's a legacy.
It is.
That's
I mean,
great.
we don't do but 3 or 4 shows a year, but it's, you know, it's really been a blessing to me for sure. But our goal is, if one person in that audience leaves feeling uplifted, their spirits are lifted, they feel better, they feel, you know, some calmness or some peace, then we've done our job. Because it's not all about the musical notes. It's about, did we make them feel something?
Right.
You know. So that's what we strive for, is just for people to leave there feeling better than they came in. They had a little 2-hour vacation, mental vacation.
Right. The Sounds of West Texas presents Home for the Holidays. Tell us time, date, place, and all the details.
Okay. The date is this Saturday, November the 30th. It is at the Cactus Theater. That is at 1812 Buddy Holly Avenue. The doors open at 6:15, and the door prizes will start about 10 minutes till 7. So we do give some door prizes right before the show and at intermission. So that's always a fun thing. And then the show begins at 7 o'clock. Most of the Cactus shows start at 7:30. Ours always starts a little earlier, 7 o'clock, because we have a long show. But I always tell everybody, take a nap before you come, because we might go till 9:30 or 9:45. So, because we have a lot of people. Tickets are $25 on all the floor seats and balcony, standard balcony. Yeah. Then the box seats are $50. And I noticed 6 of the 8 box seats are sold out already, but there's still 2 left, as we were speaking anyway. And so it all, you know, gets going. We have rehearsals on Saturday all afternoon, and then we take a break and come back and do the show.
That's great. Excellent. Yeah. And people should buy tickets at the door?
They can. Okay. Or they can go online to cactustheater.com, and if you'll click on where it says Get Tickets, just click on there. You can do it with your credit card. Or you can call if you can catch that there is someone at the box office from 3:30 till 5:30, I believe, every day. Now this week, of course, not Thursday, but there'll be some people there that you can call and reserve some tickets, and that you can leave them at will call, and you can pay for them either over the phone or pick them when you pick them up. You can do that.
Great. Betty Smith is our guest on the front row today. Betty, thank you for making time to talk to us in a production week and a holiday week.
Oh, yes.
And, exactly. So we really appreciate that. And best of luck with Home for the Holidays.
Thank you. I appreciate it.